And I gotta add to the fact that like I didn't need community to serve like this. I didn't need a friend to serve like this. I served like this because I was a great helper, and I've always had in my mind that I was serving God. So whatever everybody else is saying is cap. Like this whole journey, what highlighted me, what highlighted through what I like is that when I started reading that word, I started to decipher it. Like that's what I like. Like everything else is like what you didn't hear me start talking until I started speaking up and started correcting everything that everybody was mis misleading. Everybody was misleading. So whatever everybody's saying, like I started a business because I had boundaries. So whatever everybody's saying, like I pay for people's stuff because of out of the kindness of my heart. Like boundaries is why they so mad at me because of Paul wouldn't come out the house unless he had some marketing, some shirt to market, and he wouldn't come downtown without having a piece of gear to market. Like I don't be doing nothing for no reason. Like I've never been I wouldn't even be on Instagram if I didn't have a business and you weren't being and you couldn't market through um through Instagram. If that never was the case, I would have never been on Instagram. I started a business on there, and that's what our generation did when we turned it up. And they started adding shop to Instagram, and they started adding all of these stuffs to Instagram. We was selling the clothes before that, and I had boundaries. You can ask why. That's why I had somebody to speak to the people, assistant to speak to people, and then come speak to me. That's why I had all these things in place. So boundaries, so far as like when people were messing me over, like that was and for me to show them that you can lose your car and still get a new car. So I turned his heart into faith. Every person that has done me wrong has always went back to faith. So I've always been walking this journey to be an example for God that you don't have to retaliate every time. So people can say that you a sucker or whatever, but real life, like you are, like the fruit has been here, and I've when you saw me, the only reason why I started drinking, I'm gonna tell you, I went to what do you call it? I went to basic. I was working out. I looked up. I was laying down because you gotta lay down. I looked up. I was like, I need a beer. I was like, I need a beer. But that's not why I started drinking badly. The reason why I started drinking badly is because I would I would have some stuff to sell, and then I would consult with my manufacturers, and then stuff wouldn't come in for a while. So then I like you couldn't bring a studio into my parents' house or anything. So it's like, dang, I wanted to create, but I wanted to create, and then so that's why it got so excessive. But far as now, like I'm gonna be able to build, and that's gonna be great. Like I'm gonna have a full schedule and be able to build things out. That's fine with me. So I wanted to make things clear so everybody don't understand that. Like I've been serving, I've been a helper this whole time. I've been wanting to wash my friends' feet. They just haven't been the people to experience that with. I became a carpenter. I started a God made brand. I've been serving. You can ask all of my bosses that I've been a great servant, and I always had control over my temper. I always let the old folks lead, and that's why you see me when you work with me. When you start to work with me, you go see that I just be like, mm-hmm. When you're doing the right thing, I just do it calmly. Mm-hmm. Because I had to watch the back of the elders. I had to be patient and have them frustrated. And when they wouldn't get, when they needed a softer touch into their life, I was the carpenter there that was seeing their blind spots and waiting until it was my opportunity to help. And then I didn't gloat. I never gloated about it. I never gloat about how well of a helper I was. And I build really well. Like, I build really well. And that's why, like, I would take so much time on things, because I would do it like a finished carpenter. But now then I had to learn how to be a rough carpenter, and to just get excuse me, let some things just, that's as good as we're gonna get it. So that's how I know how to govern, and how to move on from a situation, and when to stay in a situation, and when to align things the way that it needs to be lined up. Because I know when you have the spirit, and when you're hungry and it's 12 o'clock and you don't have no food, and or like you have a sandwich and you just pressure through to 3 o'clock, and then sometimes you stay and get that second win till 5 or 6 o'clock. Like, it's like you know how to control your temper and be patient. That's what I'm saying. When you go into the trade, you go realize how strong you go become. And that's why everybody's acting like, oh, I can't deal with this, and it's like, get into that field for real. Get into that field, and then you go be humble, because God go humble you. Because you go think that you did something, and then you go have to go do it over again, and then you go have to do it over again. And then sometimes you go do it perfectly, and you ain't even expect it to work out like that. So God go be there for you. So I want to make things known and clarified. That's why I didn't accept, like, they keep saying like I'm not accepting help. I'm not accepting help because they're trying to paint a picture and a narrative that I needed to express myself some type of way in order for this stuff to come out. No, I waited because y'all thought that I waited for every single time, because I knew you guys didn't know, like, y'all was saying that my music was terrible. And then because I knew that you guys didn't know that I could really perform it. So I knew that you guys ain't know that. So I just let that go on for like 3-6 months. And then when I start popping out and performing, then y'all like, oh, okay, woo, 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 woo. So I'm like, yeah, I'll be ahead of all of the stuff of the narrative of what y'all be trying to propagate or whatever, perping. So that's cool and all. I'm never truly just depressed or have anxiety when I didn't look people in the eye, because of the power that it has. I don't be looking people in the eye, because some people be staring you in the eye and it's weird. And sometimes so I used to not look people in the eye, because like of how sexual it can be, and that's why they be doing that stuff. They be looking people in the eye, and I'd be like, don't be looking me in the eye like that. Don't be looking at me like that. But now that like I have like a better grasp on my perception, the way that the people perceive me, now that I have a better grasp on that, I can be myself, and I can let you guys in on why I was so closed off, because of how I never even got a word. Like, I never got a word on the job site, and it was cool with me. Like, I'm cool with not saying nothing. But when you start manipulating and saying that, like, oh, boom, bring it to the forefront, bring it to the internet, then it's like, oh, okay, let me really let y'all in on, like, why it's the way it is now. And it's like, I always had a degree of boundaries. Like, what? Like, what? That's why I started the business. Is to to have a barrier. Like, I'm only doing, I put a barrier between uh, people because of how, you see how they did me. You see how they did me. You see how they did me. And I noticed it off rip because back in the day, they used to be like, yo, you taking too many pictures. And then I was like, that's when I took a step back, and it was like, you only have swag to provide. And I was like, what? This was back when I was like 21. And I was like, okay, let me get my bag and let me really start building. So if I would have never started building, they would have said I had nothing to offer. And now that I can build and stuff, everything cool. He's useful. He that. You know. And I love building. And I can't wait to build with you. So yeah. The confidence comes, and I had confidence before everything. That's why they trying to keep saying that they've been helping me with the confidently coming. My first song was Richery, and then it was Journey, and it's like I was always had the same message. It's always been a message behind this. And the reason why they're trying to get ahead of this, like Jay-Z will try and get ahead of this, is because you can't be a snitch in our culture. And I just proved everybody wrong. Like, imagine if I would have snitched and never said nothing. They would have offed me, bro. They would have offed me. When they were already trying to off me. They already set me up. Already. And they saying, like, I was thinking negative and stuff. No, that is not the case. That's not the case. You see how the rappers is reacting. For the past 3 years, they saying no snitching allowed. And it's like, nah. Because I was going to come in here and I was going to change the industry. And I did change the industry. Because y'all be killing people for no reason. Look at all the joy I done brought everybody. And now, woo. Y'all trying to be like, oh, whatever. That's why 21 Savage said they gonna always be protective over the conscious rappers. And it's like, yo, y'all hate so bad. Y'all hate so bad. Like, focus on yourself. Try not to send a diss to somebody. Focus on doing that. Focus on bettering your life. I don't know why, like, everybody making me the drama. Like, that's what I'm saying. Y'all grown men. Like, focus on what you got going on. You have a kid. Y'all have kids. Stop worrying about if somebody playing a victim or not. That's, like, do you. Focus on you. And that's why Jay-Z, they trying to off people off the snitching narrative, because they're trying to hide everything and it's not transparent. And it's like, you guys are going to perish. If y'all follow behind any of these people, you're going to perish behind their message, because all there is hate. It's just hate. And I don't want to be included in that. I'm on the right side. Understand? We're against drugs, and they got to be against drugs. We label them terrorists. Now they trying to not be trying to be on the terrorist side. Like, bro, get a job. Help everybody out by getting a job. And no, the VP can't come back over here for doing all that. Doing a lot. Y'all did a lot. So don't stay on that side. We're going to help you, but stay on that side. Help you stay on that side. And you guys are going to have to change. You got to change. You ain't got no choice. At this point, you don't have a choice. We're not giving you an option to opt out of this. Like, you've seen everything. That's the God. You've seen the God consciousness. You have the God consciousness. And that's the thing. You have the God consciousness now. Now, protect your community and stop selling drugs. And be better. So you can't get away from it. You got the truth. You got the truth of the Bible. You got the truth of everything else. Now, what are you going to do with it? What you know not to put stuff into your body. You know you're going to perish by doing that. You know you got to go on a rigorous diet to get off of lean, to get off of all this stuff. Respect yourself.